Ian and Joe here with the Something Vloggy CADW Challenge.
Attempting to visit and film all 130 sites in the care of CADW in 1 year.
Today we are visiting Kidwelly Castle.
This is a Norman castle built between 1114 and about 1476 as a defence against the Welsh.
I would have thought not going into Wales would be ample defence against the Welsh and would probably stop the Welsh feeling the need to attack you in the first place.
That was of course not obvious to the Normans, who instead built this incredibly impressive castle.
The main reason for building this castle is of course its inclusion in the 1975 film Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Now, if you are a fan of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, this is the only time in the CADW Challenge that you can go, "Come, Patsy." Oh, yes, there's a reason for that. See, this is the only castle in Wales that was used in the making of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. This is the very first shot of the very first castle that you see, and then when you do the close-up of the castle, that's in Scotland. But hey ho, it does give me the opportunity to go, "Come Patsy." Oh, sorry, that way.
As you come in through this rather spectacular entranceway, you are greeted with what looks like 6 choices. 6 rooms to go in. I shall go into the first one, on my left here. It's a dark room. It's very dark. Look how dark it is. Oh, it's got more. It goes on. It's all drippy. Ugh. Ooh. The gate bit. Doors and doors and doors. Oh, it's completely black. Abort. Door number 1 was a bit too dark to go into and film. Door number 2 looks a bit more promising. It's got lights and stairs and they go down. So I'm guessing it's a dungeon. Let's go check it out. Door number 2 is a bit more fruitful, but when you come down into it, you got to be careful because I bumped my head on the lid and it hurt. And it's very deep steps, so not easy to get down into at all, but this is what's here. I'd say dungeon. There's nothing feature-wise in it, no fireplaces. There's 1 window. It's not an archer's slit, it can't be, it's too high up. They'd have to really stand up on tippy toes and lean forward. So yes, it's a dungeon, and that window is designed to stop prisoners from escaping. Door number 3 is an information room. It has automatic lights. So this is where you come to read all about the history and see a model of the castle. And you've got armour. There's a fireplace in this room though, so not dungeon. So we're still in the gatehouse and we are going through door number 4. So very... Ooh. Ian is investigating this one, the room of door number 4. So I shall leave you in his capable hands as he explains what's here.
Now that's a dungeon. The idea is that you would drop people in and then it's impossible for them to get out. That's quite a scary thought, isn't it, really? Fortunately, now, it's only used for people to drop money in.
Door number 4 has even less headroom to get in through, and a big step. So don't stand up straight. It's another dark room. It's got windows, you can see the church from here. It's got some arrow slits, archer slits.
This castle will be complete without a dungeon. And I can only assume that that is what this is. It's as dungeony looking as it gets, really. It is a small room underground with a good echo.
That is quite a spectacular opening. Just walking through the door.
So that brings us through the main doorway, and then we are into this quite large courtyard. It always seems a bit strange to me that you'd have a big tower in the middle of a castle. I mean, I can understand it. You want somewhere that you can go and escape to if your walls are breached, which I suppose is something that happens from time to time. But still, this is the inside of the outside wall, and that is a fireplace. And there are foundations around it, which would suggest that this was quite a grand room, really. I mean, it might simply have just been a guard room so that the guards that were patrolling the tower could pop inside from time to time and keep warm.
So Kidwelly has 4 towers. 4 towers is quite a lot of towers for anyone, and these towers each had a different purpose. So you had the Lord's Tower, and apparently that's where the Lords lived. You had the Exchequer Tower, and that was where all the financial stuff happened. And then you've got Julian and Margery Meredith towers, and apparently it's not really known what they were used for, but it is suspected that it was used for prisons.
This is the inside of one of those towers, and it really is quite cramped because of the thickness of the walls, but what it has got, it's got really deep windows that end in archers' slits. Now, we are on what we in the UK call the 2nd floor. That means you've got a ground floor, a 1st floor, and then you've got this, the 3rd floor, and there are at least 2 other floors above me, and they've all got archers' slits. So, if you've got a number of highly skilled archers, you can pick off your enemies really quite efficiently from one of these. And let's not forget, they've got 4 of them. This is not a place you want to attack. I don't want to attack it anyway.
This is the inner ward. There you've got the Lord's Tower, there you've got the financial tower, and somewhere amongst this little pile of ruins was a chapel. So this was the luxurious heart of the castle, the place where all the lords and ladies like to kick back and probably eat. You could probably kick back quite a long way here. The size of this place is astounding. It really is. I'd forgotten how big it was.
The lovely people of CADW have come along and put signs up, and this one says Later Hall, which makes me think that this was a hall that was built, you know, later. And then you've got more buildings. Here is another hall-like building. There's more stuff built into the outer wall as we move around, and all of that is inside a great big defensive wall. And when I say great big defensive wall, I mean great big defensive wall. This thing is, it means it. Here's some sections of wall. That's a big wall, isn't it? This one's very interesting because this has an oven. And that's an oven that's in good nick. It wouldn't take much to get that going again, would it really? I mean, obviously you'd need to find something to burn in it, but you could be baking bread in no time, which sounds like a rather nice idea. I think this is my favourite castle. I really do. This one's special for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just got all the right things.
This is another one of those labyrinthy places. There's loads of doors and they all kind of interconnect and lead off one another, and you think you're going into one room and then there are 3. I came up to the bit above the gatehouse. There's a flight of stairs that takes you up to the middle floor. I find a flight of stairs and I think, oh, I can go in and up the flight of stairs. Look, I'll show you. So I go up these stairs. They come straight down here and back into the room we've just come. I don't know why, but it made me laugh. Maybe I need to get out more. Oh wait, I'm out. Yeah! This one is, in fact, the kitchen. This is the biggest room. It's the nicest room. It's the least drippy. The window's nice and big. They've got a couple of kitchens because they've got a kitchen downstairs as well. That was a much bigger building. It did say later kitchen, so this must be the earlier kitchen.
This rather interesting looking set of structures behind me that all looks a bit fallen down was at one point the North Gatehouse. You didn't just have one, you had 2, and this one was quite impressive in its day because it had a drawbridge. I can only assume it probably had gates and a portcullis and all that stuff as well, but it had a drawbridge, and I love a good drawbridge. If you look at what's left here, you can see that there were some great defensive positions here. It's going to be a bit difficult to get in here if you didn't know the password, which, this being a Norman castle, was probably in French.
I should imagine if you were a guard patrolling the perimeter of this wall walk here, you'd pretty much be in the know about most things going on, because you've got the 4 important towers here. You've got the Lord's Tower, where they all lived. You've got the Financial Tower, and you can see as you walk around over there, which you can't walk to anymore, you could see over the kitchens. So you could really see life playing out beneath you and across from you. So I should imagine you'd have to be able to trust any guard that wandered this perimeter, because it'd be pretty tricky to keep a secret in this place. Just a thought.
It may be a bit of an overcast day, and it's not going to be long until it gets dark, but the views from up here are still fantastic. Now I can see all the way over to the estuary of the River Towie over there, and if I'm not wrong in my geography, then theoretically I should be able to see Llanstefan Castle over there as well. Of course my eyesight's not that good, but you know, with a telescope or a really long camera lens or something like that, now that's quite impressive.
What did you think?
I like it. I mean, admittedly, it is one of my favourite castles. And then there's the whole sort of excitement of the fact that, you know, Monty Python. And of course, there are a number of people who may mention this in the comments down below. I also like the fact that, I mean, if you think about it, it's actually named after a child's boot.
Yes, it is. A Kidwelly.
Yeah.
I think there are an awful lot of dungeons there. There are three on the entranceway, and then they've got an entire tower devoted to it as well.
Well, you know, why not? If you've got the room.
Yeah. So we've got 4 towers. What do we do with the other 3?
I can only imagine that, you know, being Norman in Wales was probably quite hard work, because I should imagine that the Welsh were very good at doing whatever it is that the Welsh did to annoy the Normans. So
throw pointy things at them.
That's how it all worked. Yes.
In the medieval ages, people threw pointy things at each other until one side went away.
Yes, I think that's how it works.
That's history in a nutshell.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes. Anyway, that being said, I think it's time for us to go away.
Yes. So, you shall see us next time.
TTFN.
See what I did there?
Yeah.